going to say as a black woman, please do not bring yourself or your military to Chicago. We do not need you. We keep us safe.
In Humboldt Park, 4 people are recovering from another drive-by shooting. This one happened just after 1 a.m. near California and West Haddon. Chicago police say 2 cars drove past people standing outside when several shooters fired into the crowd. The victims range in age from 26 to 39. All are expected to be okay. Police are still looking for the shooters.
Well, Chicago police say 7 people were wounded in a drive-by shooting on the south side. This happened just after 11 last night near 36th and State. Police say at least 1 person in a passing car fired shots into a crowd of people standing outside. 5 men and 2 women were hit. All of them are considered to be in good condition. Police are looking for the suspect.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I had to do a quick video. It's Sunday on Labor Day weekend. It's not even the end of the weekend, and you've already had multiple mass shootings that have happened throughout the city, and we're still arguing back and forth about whether or not we're going to accept help from Washington, D.C. to send the National Guard to Chicago to fortify what's going on in the police department. Think about that. We've got one more day before the Labor Day weekend is over, tomorrow, Monday. This video is being uploaded as of Sunday evening. And the weekend isn't even over. I guarantee you there's going to be some more shootings tonight. There's going to be some more shootings tomorrow. We're going to wind up having yet another bloody Labor Day weekend in Chicago. But don't worry about it, everybody. Mayor Brandon Johnson, he has the perfect answer to what ails this city.
Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Let me start by saying this. I do not take this executive action lightly. I would have preferred to work in a more collaborative approach. I would have preferred to do the work with our allies in City Council to pass legislation ultimately. And we were doing that. We were doing just that. But some of the leaders who we are working with are standing behind me today. But unfortunately, we do not have the luxury of time. We have received credible reports that we have days, not weeks, before our city sees some type of militarized activity by the federal government. It is unclear at this time what that will look like exactly. We may see militarized immigration enforcement. We may also see National Guard troops. We may even see active duty military and armed vehicles in our streets. We have not called for this. Our people have not asked for this. But nevertheless, we find ourselves having to respond to this. Let me be absolutely clear. Although we believe the reports we have received are highly credible, this is an erratic, impulsive administration, and it is not always possible to understand and know exactly how he will move. He could change his mind, he could reverse course. In fact, I encourage him to do that. But still, we take these threats seriously, and we find ourselves in a position where we must take immediate, drastic action to protect our people from federal overreach. I'm signing an executive order today that will launch the Protecting Chicago initiative. This is a project that builds on the months of preparation that we have done that has led up to this very moment. Protecting Chicago will ensure that every Chicagoan knows their rights, that every single family is prepared, and every part of city government is directed to protect the people of Chicago from federal action.
So you just heard that. He's signing an executive order to make sure that people know their rights, that they'll be able to protect themselves from federal interdiction. And so my question is, why doesn't he sign an executive order that protects Chicagoans from being shot, from being carjacked, from being unalived? That's been happening this entire weekend. But whenever he's questioned about that, he has his reflexive response, oh, crime is down. Tell that to the people who got shot this weekend. Tell that to the people who are not going to be able to return home to their loved ones this weekend.
This sweeping executive order directs our Department of Law to pursue any and every legal mechanism to hold this administration accountable for violating the rights of Chicagoans. This order affirms that the Chicago Police Department will not collaborate with military personnel on police patrols or civil immigration enforcement. We will not have our police officers, who are working hard every single day to drive down crime, deputized to do traffic stops and checkpoints for the president. This order affirms the CPD officers will be directed to wear CPD uniforms and refrain from wearing masks so that residents can clearly distinguish them from federal agents. And finally, as I said, it establishes the Protecting Chicago Initiative, the most sweeping campaign of any city in the country to protect ourselves from the threats and actions of this out-of-control administration.
What about doing something to protect the people of Chicago from being unalived by other Chicagoans? This man is just completely out of his depth.
We will protect our Constitution, we will protect our city, and we will protect our people. We do not want to see tanks in our streets. We do not want to see families ripped apart. We do not want grandmothers thrown into the back of unmarked vans. We don't want to see homeless Chicagoans harassed or disappeared by federal agents. We don't want to see Chicagoans arrested for sitting on their porch. That's not who we are as a city, and that's not who we are as a nation. My team and I have spoken with the governor, the county president, and with our federal delegation, and we are in complete alignment. The time for action is now. With that, I will sign this executive order and then return for follow-up questions.
I'm going to move the mic break.
That's all this mayor can do, is bring a pen to a gunfight. And the gunfight is not coming out of Washington, D.C. The gunfight is not coming from Donald Trump. The gunfight is coming from the criminal elements in Chicago. But don't worry, he just signed an executive order so that way you can know your rights and you can know how to protect yourself against federal authorities. And he's telling CPD that they can't be deputized by the federal government. What about protecting these people who have been shot and unalived over the weekend in Chicago already? Like I said, this is really on par for this particular mayor, bringing a pen to a gunfight. If you're still hanging out at this point, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, like the video, share it. I'll catch you in the next one. This is The David Seaton Show.